So the first 3 games of the season for the Oklahoma Sooners has looked pretty promising, but it kind of reminds us of last year. But when I went through and looked at some of the numbers between last year and this season, I started noticing a little bit of a trend. I really think this team is better than it was last year. I know. Last year we were 3-0. Last year, the Sooners beat up on the opposition up until they got into conference play. But the way things are shaping out this year, looking at these numbers, it feels like there's a difference. So I'm going to show you the stats. Then, of course, I'm going to give you my opinion and how I interpret them for myself. And we'll dive right into that. But before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thanks for pulling up to the channel. We're going to dive into on this video about Oklahoma's difference between the 2022 season and this year, the 2023, in the first 3 games. And what I see jumping out that we should be excited about. So we're going to, of course, put up some numbers on the screen. We're going to talk about it. And so we can go ahead and have a back-to-back. Hop in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts on each one of these metrics and what you think this team looks like for you. We're preparing for Cincinnati this weekend because we're on to Cincinnati. And we're going to have ourselves a blast this weekend. And hopefully the good guys win another game. And so let's dive into these numbers real quick. So I put my glasses on for this one. I went ahead and we're going to look at the offense and the defense. We got both of them on the screen, and I'm going to jump into each side of the ball individually because there's certain little metrics that jumped out to me that I felt like made the most sense. And make sure you stick around to the end and you'll understand exactly why. And so first, look at this offense. Numbers wise, we have increased scoring by 11 points, which is pretty big jump, including from 2021 in the final season of the Lincoln Riley era. We've gotten more first downs. We're seeing the third down attempts, of course, go up, but the conversion percentage is the one thing that jumped. That was number 1 on my list. We're converting on third down at 65% clip. That's huge. And the funny thing is the fact that we have about as many attempts as we did before, but we haven't really punted very much. Like it's you can tell we haven't punted in the first 3 games. And so I don't expect that trend to continue. We're going to play some tougher defenses that will require us to, really think outside the box. But that third down conversion percentage against lower tier competition is huge. That's a big jump from 44% to 65%. That means that we're doing what we're supposed to do to get out of third downs and move the ball forward. Of course, the passing numbers are ridiculous. Dylan Gabriel's having a fantastic season at 83% completion percentage combined with him as well as Jackson Arnold. So we're seeing some really good numbers there, and we're passing the ball a lot more. More passing, more touchdowns there. And remember, in 2021, that season started with Spencer Rattler as the quarterback, and then Caleb Williams came in later on in the season. Whereas this one is Dylan Gabriel for both seasons in 22 and 23. We're seeing that we have upped our passing yards by almost 100 yards a game and more touchdowns. Now we have 1 turnover, which we didn't have last year. Questionable. We talk about that Gavin Freeman play, but we're not running the ball as powerful as we were before, though. That's probably my third metric to really look at is we're not really running the ball as much. But I think that that's borderline by design. I know that we did the running back by committee to start. The goal was to see which back is the one that's going to step up and take over. And so that's kind of what those numbers look like on the offensive side. So offensively, everything is increased. We've just gotten better in every facet of the game, which is a huge deal. So on the offensive side, hop in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. Love to hear from you all about that. So let's pull up the defensive stats real quick. Now, these were the numbers that really jumped out, and I'm glad you stuck around to see this because this is something that I was beyond impressed to see that we're doing. Defensively, not only are we giving up less yards, we went from 17 in the last year with Riley to 10 last season to 9.33 this year. So we're holding teams, we're not letting teams score much. Third downs, we have dropped that from 35% conversion rate to 29.8. When you're playing lesser competition, you should not let them convert on third down very often. They should convert. They're going to convert. They're football players. They're good enough to be at the D1 level. They're going to convert occasionally. But we did a really good job of stopping that. We don't have as many sacks. That's not a concern to me because the completion percentage is under 60%. So we're just applying a whole bunch of pressure and we're getting them out of third downs. That 29% in 2023 is huge. Last year in the first half, we get up 35%. Yes, we won those games in playoffs, but it looks like we're focusing on the little details to really go out there, and we're paying attention to what the other team is doing. It's probably the easiest way for me to say it. That to me is a massive jump for this team. And then you go down from there, we're giving up less rushing yards, 80 yards rushing per game. Whew. We're causing more turnovers, 2 fumbles, and we also got 6 interceptions this year. That's a pretty big deal. We're getting interceptions. We're getting fumbles. 8 turnovers so far start the year. And we're giving up less yards at 289 so far. So less than 300 per game. It's pretty big because at a certain point when you've got big blowouts going, you're going to give the ball back. I mean, we're getting pick sixes and stuff to where it immediately goes back to the offense, to the offensive side of the ball for the opposition. And so, yeah, there's a good chance that they're going to get some yards. They're going to run plays, but we're not keeping them on the field very long. That 4-15 or 5-16, if you want to call it, on the allowed, that's huge numbers right there. 29% is big to me. That's something that jumps out. So when I look at this defensively, we're forcing teams to pass the ball more at actually about the same rate as we did last year, but we're not allowing them to do well on the run anymore. Now, yards wise, we're giving up a little bit more yards. We're giving up about 15 more yards passing per game, but that can be attributed to the fact that we're taking the lead so fast. I mean, we're scoring 20. Let's see, was it game 1, Arkansas State, and then Tulsa, we were up 21-0 in the first quarter. And then the score just kept ballooning from there. And SMU was more of a challenge. It was a 3-point game going into the fourth, and then we ballooned up and took 14 straight points and covered the spread. So that's more of an attribute to what SMU has to offer. We'll find out what SMU is this weekend. They play TCU. So if they go out there to Fort Worth and win that game, we'll talk about that a lot more at that point. So now you're seeing these numbers. You heard my thoughts. Hop in the comments. Let me know. Do you feel like this team is different? Do you see a difference in this Sooner squad? I'd love to hear from you all because you know me. Keep it positive. And I saw the difference in this team. If you've made it this far and you like the content, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We would love to have you join this family. We're talking ball all the time. We also got the Discord. We like to go in there and we talk ball, have fun. It's not crazy. It's actually very calm and it's fun. Great Discord, great conversation. Something for you all to join if you want to just talk ball with folks, fans of the show and fans of college football in general. And so YouTube says to watch one of these videos. I highly recommend it. I'm doing a giveaway for some tickets to the Iowa State game from one of our members of the channel, loyal members. Eric, thank you so much for that. We appreciate it. I'm putting that bad boy together now. We'll have something out Monday to discuss what you can do to win a pair of tickets and some tailgate tickets and parking to the OU Iowa State game next Saturday. YouTube says watch one of these videos. Highly recommend it because I curated it for you. We'll talk soon. Peace.